The rumble of war drums grows louder as the United States allegedly grants Kyiv the green light to fire long-range missiles deep into Russian territory. Apti Alaudanov, commander of the Akhmat Special Forces, dismissed the move as another futile stage in a hybrid war during an interview with RT war correspondent Vlad Andritsa. "We see that one crazy old man is leaving the post of president," he remarked, alluding to Joe Biden. "In Ukraine, there is the same expired, also crazy drug addict." This is the picture they get from the burnt category. His sharp critique underscored his view of a conflict driven by desperation and poor strategy. Alaudanov argued that Washington's focus on prolonging the war is designed to tie the hands of the incoming U.S. administration, compelling it to maintain the current approach. However, he emphasized that Russia's response should avoid mirroring Western provocations. Instead, he suggested a more calculated strategy, providing America's adversaries with equivalent capabilities to strike U.S. and NATO bases. This approach, he asserted, would deliver a proportional yet indirect response.
We don't necessarily have to hit America with a nuclear bomb, as some might think. America and the NATO bloc have many enemies who are opposing them on various levels today. If we simply provide their enemies with, say, something equivalent to those missiles, so their enemies could strike, for instance, those same American bases that oppose them, why not? This is also an equivalent strike. If we start arming and assisting their enemies so they can fight them properly, that is also an equivalent response.
Alaudanov also highlighted the ineffectiveness of Ukraine's recent missile strikes on Russian regions such as Kursk and Bryansk, declaring them inconsequential on the battlefield despite Western support.
I think using their remaining missiles to strike the Kursk region won't solve or change anything. And what about the fact that they have been striking our 4 regions, which are constitutionally part of the Russian Federation? Are we choosing to ignore or not hear this? We must understand that the enemy has already been doing everything in their power. They couldn't defeat us on the front lines, and now, understanding that they are losing and lack the resources to, firstly, win, secondly, continue this war, and thirdly, force the new president who comes to power to continue their policies. They are playing this game in a way that provokes us to rush into direct confrontation.
Conflicting reports emerged on November 19th about Ukraine's alleged use of ATACMS missiles against Russian territory. While Ukrainian media celebrated these attacks, Russian air defenses reportedly intercepted most of the missiles, resulting in minimal damage. Russia's air defenses also recently shot down 2 UK-made Storm Shadow cruise missiles, 6 US-made HIMARS projectiles, and 67 unmanned aerial vehicles. The Kremlin swiftly condemned the US for escalating the conflict. Presidential Press Secretary Dmitry Peskov labeled the outgoing Biden administration's decisions as irresponsible, accusing it of prolonging the war and thwarting any efforts toward peace. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov reinforced these accusations, stating that NATO's deeper involvement signaled deliberate provocation. He warned that such actions risk pulling the alliance into a direct confrontation with Russia. President Vladimir Putin underscored the gravity of these developments, asserting that NATO's decisions were no longer about aiding Ukraine, but about testing the limits of direct intervention. "This changes the essence of the conflict," Putin said, signaling a measured yet decisive response from Moscow.